My screen is visible, right? So okay, I have started the recording. So let's get back to our PPT. So this is the PPT that we were going through. So there's one thing that I have got for you guys from SAP. So these are two SAP notes, the PR and the PO restart fields. This will help us on the restart conditions that when the PR or the PO should be re-triggered. Okay. So we had done till the configuration of the flexible workflow. All the settings were there. Now the end user activities are just pending, right? So this 7 point, we have to start it from here. So in the previous session, we discussed about the push notification. Till push notifications, we have seen all the configuration in the system. So let's go and check how we need to proceed next. Okay, so the general configuration will have the flexible workflow. You can set up multiple flexible workflows. You can see here there are two workflows that are in draft and two are in active. So always remember, SAP gives the automatic approval of workflow that is activated, right? Any workflow that you make or create in the system should be auto approved unless and until there is a condition applied. Then there is a thing called define order, so you can put this workflows up and down. Okay, so we'll see how this is created. I'm just giving a brief overview. Then there is something called the validity from and validity to. So this you need to check in your system. Validity from and validity to, you will be creating it for your purchase requisitions. Okay, then then you will have the start conditions. This was the initial basic settings. Then under that you will have the start condition tab here, that is in the screen. You can check the document type, company code, total amount, or there are other fields that what the plant is. So you can have all these settings. I will not be taking with these settings. I'll be taking with the plant and the purchase group, and I'll be telling you about the there are others other condition also that the plant of this uh, flexible workflow condition, what the plant is, or the material group, or the document type. So we'll check all these conditions, and you can also set on the order currency, purchase order currency. Let's say you are procuring. I think Sheila gave an example. She was working in an organization, and there was one purchase order that was project, another purchase order was non-projects. Okay, so the projects one will have a separate workflow. Okay, and the second non-project workflow will have this other workflow, right? So you can use the purchase organization of purchase org. You can use the total net amount, or the less if it should be less or equal to this amount. Then the workflow trigger. This is the header conditions. Then we will have step conditions. Okay, this is the start condition. This is the step condition. Both are different. So I will tell you how to define that. Then after the header, we will do the role based or the user based assignment. So I'll tell you the role based assignments and the user based assignment, both are different. Okay, so we can do both, right? We can do assignment agent by this role based assignments, or we can do the assigned by users. So we will check the meaning of both these ticks, one of the recipients or all of the recipients. Then I'll explain you the meanings of this. Okay, so let's go to our system. Just give me 1 second. Let me log in. I think there's some login issue in Incognito. Okay, 1 second. Somebody changed my ID password or what? Change password. If I was able to log in somehow. Okay, so we have all these styles. So how we can go? We can type manage, and you will get a lot of tiles. So we'll type manage workflow. So if I press enter, on pressing enter, I'll have all the workflow related tiles on manage workflow. The system is quality system. It might load a little. So as I told you before, we'll have manage purchase requisitions, manage workflow condition, manage contracts, manage POs, manage RFQs. Everything that is related to your flexible workflow will be there in these applications. So how do we go? We will go via this manage workflow application. So this is just an application. You can also see that a lot of T codes, sorry, a lot of workflows are there. Some might be active, some might be inactive. Okay, so we have a lot of these. So how do we delete it, right? How do we delete it? So we'll just select, then we will have add, copy, delete, or inactive, right? So we'll select and go on delete, right? If we delete, it will disappear. Then we have add button. What does add mean? So if I want to add, I'll have to create one new workflow. There's one thing that I want to explain. Let's check this. Okay, so this is a draft, right? Why I'm taking a draft right now? If I select the draft, it has edit, but if I select the inactive one, it will not have edit. So once it is activated or inactivated, it will not be edited, right? Anything that is in draft can be edited. Anything that is in active or inactive state cannot be edited. Okay, so let me deactivate this one so we can test. Also, there is one thing that do not use these workflows, like do not leave these workflows after the use. So what happens when you copy and when you make a lot of workflows, it will create some issues, right? This is just an application, it will have some limitations. So all these workflows that are being created should not be left out, right? You should always either delete them or remove them from the list. Then there is one thing called validity and valid to period. So we'll check that in this workflow, right? Also, we can check one source level 1, level 2. Okay, so we'll come back to this 2-level testing. This is 2-level that we checked once. Okay, so we'll add our workflow. So this is our workflow. It will appear like this. You're getting that, right? If you have any doubts still now, please ask. We came from the manage workflow app. We just need to click on add. So if I click on add, we'll have the workflow name. The first on the header is workflow name. Okay, so I'll name it as the new workflow for testing. Okay, then is for fun. Okay, that is one thing. So I'll copy the same in the description. So you can write any description. It's a 250 character length. So they have given some standard length of this. So you can write any description that why do we want this, or what does it define, right? This is a property. Then this is mandatory, validate from and validity to. Okay, so this is mandatory. So you can make it mandatory from April 1st, so you can go back like all the January. Let's say you're working in old periods. Okay, so you have not opened uh, April yet. You're working in January, Feb. You have not even opened March, right? So you can open from, you can start the period from the back date also, or you can start the period from the current date also. Then the valid two. So the valid two will be like, let's take this date. Okay, so I'll put 1999. So this means this year will not come, right? Enter the date that is after your start date. Oh, sorry. It will be like 399. Okay, so if I entered 1999, it will take the back date. That is, this date cannot be lower than that date. So if I add 3999, or if I add or 4 times 9, the system this will mean that it will continue till this year, right? It will continue to 30th April 9999. So this day is very far away. So you can set that. Then after the properties, we'll go to the start conditions. Then we'll go to the step sequence. So what is start sequence? Start sequence is the sequence that will initiate. The workflow will initiate only if this condition is met, right? This condition, what condition? So the condition that we have in the start condition will be as follows. I'll drop down for you guys. So you can have the company code of the purchase order is, okay, the purchase order currency is, the plant is used in at least one item, and then you'll have the net amount of the PO is greater than, right? So in the PO, when we make the PO, you'll have in the line item, you will have the plant, right? Then you will have the purchase order also, the purchase organization, the purchase group. You can use all these mix and match. This is just purely based on your client's requirement. So I'll use the plant is at least used in one item. So I'll put my plant. Let's say we had alpha plant, right? So this is 1001. Then you can also add another condition. Let's say I want plant and I also want the company code used, or the purchase order currency is INR. So for this currency is it will only trigger, right? For these conditions, if these are met, only then the purchase order will trigger, right? Then I'll go to the step sequence. What is step sequence? So step sequence means I will define some steps, and according to those steps only, this start condition is met. Then under after these two conditions, what action should be taken? Who should be the recipient of the conditions that we are defining? So the recipient, who will be the recipient? It can be automatic release. Automatic release means the purchase order or the PR will be automatically released by the SAP. Okay, SAP will directly release it. There will be no user involved. So now I want to release it by the release of purchase order. If I don't select this, it will be automatically released. So there are two options in the step conditions, that is automatic and release of. So we'll select release. Now we'll go to the recipients tab. There are different headings. You should obviously follow these, otherwise you will get confused. In the starting it is confusing, but then when you get habitual to it will fine. Okay, so you have role based assignments. So these are the roles, right? So when you have the agent determination, or the manager of the last approver, or the workflow initiator, who should get it, right? You can select these. Who will be the recipients, or all of the recipients, you can select these. So if you select by role, okay, then these roles, the manager role should be there. I don't have all these roles, manager roles, or the person of the cost center with the highest debt, right? I don't have these roles in my system. So this is something called role based recipient for the workflow. So if you have manager's ID, then you can have the role, right? Like some organizations in the FMCG industry will have a manager in one particular plant. The plant that we define as alpha, let's say it is located in US, and a separate plant beta is located in Germany. Then the alpha will be the FMCG plant's manager only. So he will be having the INR start condition. He'll have some value that is needed to be there, and then he will have the manager assignment. Okay, so for that particular plant, the manager will be there, the workflow manager of workflow initiator. So this is defined by the HCM team. How the HCM team will define? There is a function module in HCM that that will tell who's the manager of a particular person. So they'll map the manager with the user. Okay, so every SAP ID is mapped with their manager's ID. No SAP ID will be left alone, right? Okay, so you can check the initiator manager, workflow initiator, or the highest date. I don't have these, so I'll not be using these. We have user-based assignment, so I'll map the users. So I have 1 second, 106. This is my ID. ID is not valid. Okay, that's wonderful. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me check which ID I should map. Okay. ID is not valid. Okay, this is one ID that is valid, and it will receive the workflow of our agent, right? So whatever we'll assign to whichever purchase group we'll assign, it will receive. So we'll go put the purchase group of this purchase order. We'll put as A21. Okay, so this is our purchase division of the alpha plan. Then we can also add other step conditions also. Then there is one thing, one of the recipients and all of the recipients. Okay, so what is one and what is all? So when we define one recipient, this only means that it will go to one recipient. Let's say I have two IDs. I have two IDs here. One is 669, one is, let's say, 670. So that ID, what that ID will do, it will what this stick, the step to be completed by. So this, if I put two, one of the recipients means if anyone approves, it will be approved. All means it will be a parallel workflow. Both will have to approve. So if anyone rejects, it will be in the rejected mode, right? The workflow will restart. If both the users will have to approve if I tick all of the recipients, and only one can approve if I tick one of the recipients, and there should be 2 or 3. You can put n number of the approvers, right? Then under the step conditions, that the purchase group, for this purchase group, this executive engineer or this approving authority is responsible. So I have used his ID to map this, right? Then we have deadlines. So currently in my systems, there are no deadlines available. There is a separate config for deadlines. If there is any deadline, we'll have the mapping for it. So deadlines that I showed you in the PPT, we have mapped. So the deadlines will be like this: approve this purchase order, otherwise this will not work. So I've not mapped any deadlines for any of these in my system, right? Okay, so when you go to exception handling, so under exception handling, what happens is you should do nothing. Do nothing means when it is rejected, what the system will do, it will do nothing. It will go and cancel the workflow. Okay, you can put continue, repeat step. You can put continue when you have to when you have 6, 5, or like these many approval levels will be there, right? 6, 7 approval levels will be there. Then you can do repeat step, or you can do continue step, right? And when you have to restart the workflow, you can restart the workflow in the cases of when you want the same to be approved again on the if this is cancelled, it should be approved again. Then you can do. But in the standard, we use only cancel workflow, right? I'll go click on add. This Ashok Kumar Seth G will be the approver of my A21 purchase group, right? This is the entire mapping of the end user configuration. So I could have stopped it here. I wanted to show you one thing. Okay, 1 second. Let me save this also. So now this is in the draft mode, right? I can copy this. Let's go back. I wanted to copy this. S/4HANA. So we have this 10 number. What is this order, right? What is this order? So the order here will define that it should come first, ascending or descending. 1 second. Okay, so it will define which should come first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Okay, so if I select, let's say if I select my on 9th, okay, so if I click on first, and if I click this on first, so what will happen? These two are upright. Okay, so first my new workflow will trigger, then the copy of this will trigger, right? This order, this defining order means which will be executed first. If my condition is met first, then my workflow will trigger, and if this condition is triggered, then this workflow will be mapped, right? With the it will be mapped with the workflow. Okay, so let me check this copy. Okay, so we had 3 Archana, Ashok, Ramesh, delete all this. And there was one thing that I wanted to show you guys, copy of level testing 2. Okay, this, let's copy this. So if I click on copy, so it will say copy of, then others were copied, right? So it will be this only. So this is supposed to be 2-level testing. 2-level testing of workflow, flexible workflow. Okay, so this is valid to this period only. Okay, so there. Okay, this is not the perfect one. Okay, let's say, let's go back. This was the one. Oops. There were 2 levels of workflows for A21 only. I'm looking for the particular case. Okay, let's copy this one only. So this is the plant used, 1000. So I'll go here. I'll remove this ID. I'll go back, apply. I'm doing it for A21, right? Remember, I'm doing it for A21. I'll add for this one, right? A21 I'll add. So I'll put release of purchase order by user, and I'll put the user ID. Okay, the 691 user ID. Give me 1 second. I have a separate notepad for that. It has a lot of IDs. Okay, step purchase group A21. Nothing add. So here I have added the same, this Archana and Ashok Kumar Seth. So what will happen? So if so right now I have used this plant. Let's make this plant as 1001. Okay, so I'll use the material for this plant only. I have used this 2-level testing of workflow. Let's put it under 1. So I will remember this. Then we have used Archana and Ashok Kumar Seth. Okay, so with Archana and Ashok Kumar Seth, if I use this ID Ashok Kumar Seth, then it will pop up in the Archana's inbox, and it will be planned for Ashok Kumar Seth. I can use the same condition twice. If I'm using the same condition twice, then this will be a 2-level approval. If I want to add the 3rd level, I will add the same 3rd level approval. Click on add. It will be appear here, right? So I'll make a PO for this one. Then I'll go to the Mindbox application also. Okay, So let's go create one PO. Let's activate this first. Okay. So we have this active. Then I think rest other are draft only. Let's delete this one. Okay. So you can check only the approve. This one is active. The rest are inactive, and our flexible workflow 2-level testing 1. Okay. So this is our workflow. So let's check whose ID is this. This is my ID only. Nice. So you guys have any doubt, right? If you have any doubts, please tell that. So I'll quickly make one PO, ME21N. Okay, I don't have any POs except that only. Okay, fine. So we'll make our own PO. So this is a custom document type that I have taken. So in the last session also we talked about this. So if I don't use the custom document type, then sorry, we should not use the standard document type NB. We should always use the custom document type. Copy, make your own, do the standard settings, then activate the proper scenarios for the workflow. Okay, so I'll put everything here. So let's put my favorite vendor, Subcon. Okay. Now here star MM17 star. So I've made one test service for MM17. This is one of the mass tools that I use. Okay, so let's put quantity. Okay, net price I'll have to add manually across meter. So I'll put conditions. My PB00 would be the standard pricing conditions that would be there. Let me add that. And invoice also. Under invoice tax code, it will be mandatory. GR based IB. I'll use 0 for taxes. And then 1000. Okay. Right. So net material price is there. Okay. So everything is there. Let me go. So I have one custom tab, customer data tab, that is the client specific. Customer data. So here I will have to put this. Now let's go to flexible workflow. Okay, so right now in the workflow, there are no instances found. As soon as I check and save, the workflow will show that, okay, fiscal year budget not open for FM posting. I'm using the wrong date in the document type. Just give me 1 second. So currently this fiscal year period is not open from my quality. The FM budget, this is a budget issue. Okay, so if I check now, it will not have any errors. So you can see the errors are gone. Okay, so right now it is not having. If I click on save, it will show the workflows, right? I'll click on save. It is saved now. My PO number is 809. I'll go on open other documents, other purchase document 1809. Click on other documents. So this is my PO that I took, MM17 service, right? Now you can check the status. Status is 0%. 0% with Archana, then Ashok Kumar said, how did this happen? So we planned Archana as our first approver. This is 0 under the status of Archana. Then the plan is with Ashok Kumar Seth. Ashok Kumar Seth will be doing this after Archana approves it. Okay, so I will have to log into Archana's ID, then we can check how this will proceed. Okay, so there was one tool that I also shared with you guys. Okay, second. Stasho SWIA. This is one of the most important tools, the workflow administrator tool. Okay, so this is one tool. You have to remove the date, the creation time, sorry. Just put the date created on, nothing else. So this I also took up in the last session. Right now I have this, but how will you find the exact? So go to work item text. There's a filter. This filter you can select, put your PO number, copy. Star means select all, then star. Anything beyond star means all. After star means all. Anything under this will be your string. Okay, so string is searched. So all the process that are there will be shown here. So this is one thing you can complete manually. Okay, so if I complete manually, what will happen? So let me complete it manually first. So this will be released. Okay, one second. This is in process. This is a sub task. We have to release the sub task. So if we release the sub task, this will be completed, right? You can check this will be completed. So what happens sometimes, you will not have the particular user that was there to release, right? So in that case, you can use SWIA. So this is one thing that nobody in your nobody will teach you. So these tools are very important to learn. This helps me a lot. So all the workflow issues, I'll solve them by myself. And whatever different technical issues are there, I'll involve the technical team in that. So if I refresh, it says deleted logically. Why deleted logically? Because it completed manually, right? This, what happened to the PO? You can check the status. This was cancelled by who? The processor. The processor ID is my ID. So this is my ID. One second, this is my ID. I approved it. It got cancelled. How will I re-trigger now? Let's click on save. So the workflow will not restart. If I click on save, the workflow will not restart. It will simply say the data not changed. So how will we change the data? So there is one thing that I initiated for you guys. I'll also take you to the workflow at last. Okay. So SAP notes are there. 2 SAP notes I have prepared for you guys. So this was one thing that SAP, I feel good about SAP is, whatever customer issues are there, they release the note, knowledge base articles, SAP KBAs. Okay, so this is in English. You can also, if you are familiar with other languages also, you can read that in them. So your client might demand these in different languages. So German is one of the basic language, and Dutch, then English. Okay, so all these are released in all 3 languages. So this is the version 12 of the same note. So I have a SUser ID, SAP SUser ID, for which any issues what I have, I'll search. I'll get the response from SAP. So the original document is from this note. So we can check that afterwards. So the symptoms was how to re-trigger or restart the flexible workflow of a PO, right? So they have written a solution that certain fields in the purchase order are there that after the release of this, means release means approved or rejected. So after the approval or after the rejection, the workflow is needed to be restart, right? So how to restart that? there are certain fields that in the PO will re-trigger it, restart it. So if you change all those fields, if you change the attribute of these fields, attributes means if you change the value of these fields, then only the fields will trigger, right? So if you change, if the order is in draft, okay, the flexible workflow draft status is needed to be removed. This means you have to save the PO. You have to keep the version management active. Okay, this version management tick should be there. Okay, then you have to have the company code. These are the fields, right? Company code, purchasing document category, order type, currency key, language key, the good supplier, customer number, all these fields are there. But I am concerned about one specific key. That key is collective number. So in the start, I also explained collective number. I think Abdul asked in the RFQ session what is collective number. So collective number is considered like a file, right? Considered like a file. The file will be bundled into one. So like there are separate pages, right? They will be bundled or stapled into one particular piece of file. Okay, so that is collective number. So this is not important. Nobody will use collective number in a PO. Okay, but sometimes they do. So these are the fields. You cannot change all these fields, right? You cannot change the PO date. They'll ask, so why do you want to change the currency key? Why do you want to change these? So SAP gave these fields. You can also input the custom fields. I'll show you how to do that. So just remember these. This is the collective number field that we'll use for retriggering. I'll show you the configuration just in a minute. So under the additional data tab, we have our collective number field. If I put 1, 2, 3 or any lucky number you have, if you see your horoscope every day, that is what I tell my client. If you have your horoscope, you have a lucky number, then put that collective number in the put your lucky number in the collective number. Okay. So if you click on save, what will happen? SAP will create a new workflow, right? It will say save. Do you want to save the data changes? So we saved. We'll go to the flexible workflow. Now again, Archana Ashok Kumar site. So we'll go to Archana's ID in a minute. I just wanted to show you the configuration under OLME. The same configuration that we did, just we need to maintain the restart conditions. So I'll go under the OLME. This is SWIA, SWIA, and okay, and we'll go to OLME. OLME is purchasing in the SPRO. Under this, we'll have our purchase orders. So we'll have start conditions set under the workflows, flexible workflows. You'll have the activate flexible workflow, scenario activation. Okay, client activate. This one thing. Conditions to restart flexible workflows. Okay, there was conditions to restart. I think it's not in the PO. Scenario activation will start at settings. Okay, it's not for the PO. Actually, in this version release is for 2022, I guess. This version release is for. Okay, anything beyond 1909 will have this. There are 6 nodes in total. It's not there. 1 second, give me 1 second. I'll go check with the practice server that the S4 2022 version. This might have the same settings. Okay, let's go to our server. OLME. Under purchasing, we'll have PO. We'll have flexible workflows for purchase orders. Then we have 6 settings, right? So manage conditions to restart flexible workflow. So this is 2022 and this is 1909. You can see the difference. This is 1909 on premise. Should we start? Okay. It is not here, but this is 1909 that I'm using. So it is not having the scenario activation. For PR, we have the scenario activation. I think in the PR, we have the scenario activation. Manage conditions to restart the flexible workflow. Under PR, we have in 1909. I'll show you with PR. So these are the fields. Okay, these are the fields that SAP gave. The purchasing group, purchase organization, external number, all these are there, fixed supplier. But when you go here, when you go to the PO in 2020, you have all these fields, right? You can enable these. If you click, then the flexible workflow will be started for these. Always restart. Okay, conditional restart. You can set the conditions also. So I'll go click on new entry. So this is one field that SAP gave. SAP gave that field. Second, which field was it? This was a field. If I want to maintain, I'll click SUMBI, copy. Attribute name. Okay, it's not a new attribute, right? They're not letting me create a new attribute. Okay, never mind. I think I could have copied that, but okay. So we have all these standard attributes that are there. But earlier we used to create these new attributes. I think we can do it in PR. In PR, we can create new attributes. I'm not very sure because I created one Z attribute long back. I think 1.5 years ago, I created a Z attribute. Is that activate flexible workflow, scenario activation, restart conditions. Okay, this is the enhancement spot. This is manage. You can go on new entries, then sequence key, let's say 23, then attributes. Okay. So I think this will be done by your ABAP team. They'll get the attributes. We are not authorized to take any new attributes. Okay. So we cannot do that. The ABAP team can make these attributes, right, in the PR. So let's close this. Okay, this is one thing. This is the same configuration that is there. I have also used this PR restart fields. Same, everything is same. They have mentioned all these, the creation indicator, the self-service procurement. Why do we need it? Everything is there in the detail. You can read that by yourself. So I've already explained the PO. The PR is the same. Then the flexible workflow approach was there. Okay, so this is just the same. I've also tested the block here, like what the issues we got in the start. So this is like 1909 in the 2020 year when I was starting. Okay, so all these issues that we got in the settings, why the event linkage was not activated, what happened, what is the authorization, if we don't allow SAP all access to SAP underscore WFIT, the workflow will not trigger. Like what was the issue in SU53? We checked SU53 is a T code that will help to check the roles that our user has. Okay, then all these are generic questions that will be asked about the flexible workflows. You'll get all these questions. SWIA slash 1 second slash WIA. Okay, this is one T code SWIA. I think I mentioned it in a hurry. SWIA also is there. Okay. Okay, now it is perfect. Okay. Then retrigger. Okay, so this retrigger that I explained right now, that then we'll go to the mine box. I'll explain the mine box in 5-6 minutes. Okay, so this is workflow category. So how will be the retrigger? So if the PR we were using PR flexible workflow. Okay, so this is my project specific. I wanted to give you project related knowledge also. So this flexi means flexible. Okay, so we have 3 flexible, then 4 flexible. So we have all these restart conditions. So I explained in the PR how do we restart. We have key fields. In the PO we have key fields. If you reject, this is for the service PR. Okay, this is just for the service PR. Middle PR gets retriggered. So in 1909 there was one issue that I worked with SAP. So they gave the solution that the maintenance order created PRs or the service PRs cannot be retriggered. However, any PR that you create manually can be retriggered in the system. Then the PO can be retriggered. Then contract can be retriggered. Then the SCS can be retriggered. Okay, it will go to the same approval. Cancel conditions are also there. How will it start? So this is just my project specific retriggering conditions. Then we have manage substitute. I'll try to take that up also, but it's quite long. Okay, we can do that later also. Let's go to our initial setting. This is okay. Give me 1 second. Let me check which ID was it. Cookies are there or what? We'll have to open a new session. No incognito system. The system will, it's taking my ID only. Let me open another browser. Better. Okay, so you have any doubts till here? I'll show you the My Inbox app. That will be very helpful for you. Please unmute yourself and you can ask doubts.
Aman Gurraj here.
What?
Hello, Aman, can you hear me?
Yeah, tell.
Yeah, you told that for standard PO we cannot apply this work.
No, you can do that. I only mentioned that you should not do it like this.
Like in the real project scenario, is it done only for the customized PO type, or
in a real project scenario, it is done only for the customized type.
if a PO is created with NB, then it is not considered for workflow?
No. Okay, so in a real project scenario, the customer will definitely ask for custom tabs, right? So with those custom tabs, what happens is they will tell that we want a new layout of the PO. Then they will tell that we want a flexible workflow. And when you configure, you will configure for those documents only. So why I didn't recommend a standard was because if you change anything in standard, SAP will be like, this is customized, will not help you. They'll tell that this is a standard, this is not a standard issue, will not help. Okay, so whenever you are working in a project, okay, real life project, in those projects, SAP will always be there. So you can create notes. So I've created a lot of notes. I think 9-12 notes we have created for SAP. So my one flexible workflow of SCS got published by SAP. Okay, so I've worked very closely with SAP. So they took almost 1 day for releasing that note. What user, the password, change the password. It's not even working. Not sure why that happens. If you want to ask, please. Okay, Anuradha. Thank you. I'm not sure why this is not working. I'll show you next time probably. Okay. I need to reset all these passwords, I guess. It was working fine till 5 p.m. I checked it today. That's might be the idea. Change password. No. It's not working. I'll have to change the password and check. I'll show you guys tomorrow maybe. That will be much better. Okay, so we can cover the topic of till then we can cover the topic of our Mindbox. I think Mindbox will not be available for me. I've not set my own ID. Okay. Let me share my screen. I'll show you with the PPTs and let's get done with this topic. I'll also try to give you a brief about Mindbox. So there are some certain things in Mindbox. So once you receive the workflow in your inbox, Mindbox application, you can either accept it or reject it. Okay, there are options to accept or reject. Then there are three, four other options to show log, claim, release, forward, suspend, and share. So what you can do is show log. Show log means you can see what details of the task are there in the chronological events. Then there is claim. So when you claim a task, okay, let's say I showed you one example of parallel task, right? Parallel approval I showed you, and two-level approval that with the radio button that has the option to share to the all recipients in one step condition. So let's say you have two reporting managers and now they both are having the same workflow, but only one will be the approving authority, correct? So what they will do is one of them will claim the task. So if they will claim the task, then it will disappear from the other manager's ID. So it will disappear from the other recipient and they'll not be able to see in the Mindbox application. I'll show you this application tomorrow. I'll take 5-10 minutes for this application. It's not a very big application. You'll see the same PO number. Then we have a release. So release means when you release a task, right? It will be released and assigned to the processor of the task. You will not have the task in your inbox app. Then the forward task. Forward task means, let's say Abdul is in my division and he is forwarding the same workflow to me. Let's say Abdul got the wrong approval, right? He is the manager of some other division, or he got promoted, or he got changed. So now his inbox is showing some previous documents. Now he don't have the authority to approve. So he'll forward it to me. So I'll approve. I am just his replacement, so I'll approve, right? So he forwarded. Then suspend. You can suspend a task which you have already claimed. So whichever has the ready status, or you have the task, you can suspend the task, and after the suspending, it automatically reappears into the inbox for processing. Then you can share the task via email. There's a share button for the send via email. So this functionality is also needed to be enabled, otherwise this will not work. So there are RFC users that is needed to be enabled for this. Okay, I guess one thing. Okay, this is the last point of the slide. Then there was managed substitute application. Under the managed substitute application, I wanted to show you one thing: planned substitute and unplanned substitutes. Okay, so every system has some alias called Mindbox. Under this Mindbox, you will have all these tasks, right? So I just explained how the Mindbox application looks. So this is my inbox. This is some employee notification. Then you have accept, reject, claim, forward, suspend, open. So I've explained all these 6 buttons. You can claim the task, you can forward, suspend that you don't want to see it. It will reappear. Then you can open the task, you can approve or reject. Approve, reject means release or reject. Okay, then you can go to my substitutes. So let's go to this application is that. So I'll go to my inbox. My inbox. I'll not have any inbox. All these tasks will not be there in my inbox. Okay. Okay, this one RFQ task is there. Okay, so in RFQ, I'll have show log, claim, forward, suspend, open task. So let's go to my substitutes. So if I go here, I'll have manage substitute or substitute for. This is plan substitute, manage my substitutes. So if I'm going on leave, plan unplanned, I'll add a substitute. I'll add Archana. So I'll have this Archana E exigence ID. Then you remember I have told you functional, disciplinary, all task groups. Okay, so I'll use all task groups from date till date. Okay, from this date, start date will be 10/4, and there will be no end date. Okay, so I can add another substitute. I can check who will be my planned substitute, and I can also put unplanned substitutes. So this is two settings that is there: planned substitute and unplanned substitute. So when you go to manage substitutes, in the basic settings, you have inbox tasks, inbox for all purposes, inbox tasks. Under these tasks, there are substitute profiles. Okay, Z inbox. You can create substitution profiles. So we only have the disciplinary and these tasks. Okay, so all these tasks will be compiled into one single ID. Your ABAP team will do that. So this is just technical. Don't go into this. Okay, so they'll put the inbox tasks. Then after this, maintenance will have manage substitutes. You can put planned, unplanned. In planned, I've shown you how to add. So you have added the substitutes for the start date, and when you don't want, so you can remove those substitutes. Okay, so you'll have functional, disciplinary, then inbox. So we have also created like that. So I've used all tasks, everything that includes HCM, MM, FLM, PM, PP. All these models will have all these. Okay, substitution period is selected. Now these unplanned substitutes. So unplanned substitute will be like, let's say if I am substituting for somebody else, right? So you can see unplanned substitute also. So if you are substituting, then you can add a new substitute here. Okay, choose the substituting agent. You are substituting for inbox, substitution period. Everything is done, enabled. Then you will go to substitute for. Okay, after the substitute employee, if you do unplanned substitutes, then you will do it for the person that is not there. Then this is done. Okay, you can put it the unplanned substitute for any other person. Yeah, Subramanian.
Sir, these PPTs and documents will be uploaded in OneDrive.
I'll share as a separate folder in a zip file. Like this only I'll share. Okay, everything is there. I've also written one document how to configure the substitute. This is much better this way. I have written it by myself, so I think it will be much easier. These are my notes. This is actually my note. So I've copied it from my note. This is one note that I could pull off from my system. So you can check how to substitute. Everything is there, right? Process by process, but it doesn't have photo. It's a notepad. Okay. I'll share with the same folder with you guys. Okay. So this will be substituted. I think today's session is over now. You can ask doubts, please, if you have any. I'll try to share you the same PO if possible. We are having system issues currently. So, okay. Let me know if you have any issues, any doubts till now. I'll stop the recording.